Hi everyone, today my husband Wade and I are going to make our favorite veggie burgers for you. We've been making veggie burgers together for 10 years now, and these are butternut, squash, and Granny Smith apple burgers, and they're vegan and gluten-free, and they're just amazing. So Wade has this insane amount of butternut squash from our garden. This is only a fraction of it, and it's just the two of us, so he brings home all these squashes, and I'm like supposed to figure out what to do with them. So thanks to Sophia De Santes and her website, veggiesdon'tbite.com, we have this awesome recipe to share with you. So let's get started. So the first thing I recommend doing is to cook your rice. So she suggests doing it on stovetop with veggie broth, but I just am a huge fan of rice cookers and wish I would have had one 20 years ago, because I was buying cooked rice off the food bar at the health food store. But this is a really easy way to do your rice. This is an aroma. What you do is you take 1 scoop of rice, dump it in, 2 to 3 scoops of water. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm not going to have it plugged in. You turn it on and you have awesome rice in like 20 to 30 minutes, depending if you use white rice or brown rice. And you can use your favorite rice for this recipe. We actually used brown rice. So I'm just going to move this out of the way and bring on the veggies. All right? So after you get your rice going, you can start by chopping your vegetables. So what I did is, this is actually 3 cups worth of butternut squash. It really cooks down in size. And then I have 2 cups of Granny Smith apples and 1 cup of white onions. So you could do this food prep even the day before, because this does take a little longer, this recipe in general. But what you do is you first roast in the oven the butternut squash for 15 minutes at 400. Then you add in the Granny Smith apples and onions and cook it another 30 minutes. So it's 45 minutes total to get these roasted vegetables. And since you've seen me peel and chop a butternut squash before, and this is live, I went ahead and did that already. Okay, so I've washed my hands. I'm going to take these mushy vegetables, which is great because they're just going in the food processor. And all these plant-based foods are full of fiber, which is great for your colon, help clear you out, and they're low in fat, low in calories, so you can eat more of them. Great for lowering cholesterol because there is no cholesterol in plant-based foods. So we've got our veggies, and now we're going to add, when the rice is cooked, this is going to be our rice. So this is 2 cups of brown rice cooked, and I'm going to add it into the food processor, if you can see that. And then I am going to trade and let my handsome husband take over for the pulsing. All right? So here's Wade, and he's going to show you how to blend and add a few more ingredients and make the patties.
Okay, so Kath already got most of the veggies in there. I am just going to go ahead and add the thyme because, we want that blended in pretty well.
And how much thyme?
I think that was about a teaspoon. So the directions actually call for 2 tablespoons of fresh thyme. We don't have fresh thyme, so we're actually using dried thyme, and you want to use a lot less dried thyme, probably about just 1 teaspoon, where it might call for a tablespoon or even more. So this particular recipe calls for more than, calls for 2 tablespoons. So I'm actually, like I said, just putting in 1 teaspoon. And we want to pulse it a little bit, not so much that we just end up with one big blob of mush, but we do want to pulse it down to where it's relatively well mixed. So you've got to take the lid off and use a spatula to kind of bring things back into the center again, because it's a very dry mix. The drier the better, frankly. It'll cook a lot faster. The squash and the onions and the apple bring a lot of moisture into it. And she actually calls for frying, and we tried baking it last time we made them, actually just last week, and they turned out really good. So on the last pulse here, I am going to just add the pumpkin seeds. She talks about a little different order in the directions, but I'm all for simplifying. So you notice that it just spins if you don't bring the ingredients back into the center again. So.
And you can get raw pumpkin seeds at Trader Joe's.
Yeah, those are raw pumpkin seeds. They're not the same kind of pumpkin seeds that you get from your carving pumpkins, your big orange carving pumpkins. So you can eat those seeds actually. They're better roasted. And you can roast these pumpkin seeds too. These are also called pepitas. And we get them from Trader Joe's. I'll show you the bag real quick. So that's what the bag looks like. And they're, you notice they're green. They're not the white ones that you might have seen in your pumpkin carving days. So now I'm just going to take the blade out because I'm going to patty these up right on the spot.
So it's just those, I think, 6 ingredients. Butternut squash, Granny Smith apples, onions. We've got our pumpkin seeds and our thyme. Just 1 teaspoon of dry thyme. All right, so Wade is the master patty maker.
It's all those years of mud pies and, frankly, a few cow pies when I was a kid.
We've been married for 10 years. We actually had a vegan wedding in Santa Monica. And I'm from Kansas and Wade's from Wisconsin, so that's a pretty big feat. But everybody loved the food, thank goodness, catered by Real Food Daily. So we've been cooking vegan together for 10 years. It's both, and it's been a lot of fun. And Wade's actually a great cook. He's taught me a lot. So this can make about, well, these might be a little bigger. It depends. Sometimes we can get 6 patties, looks like today maybe 5. And so the recipe does say you can cook them on the stovetop, but we're going to bake them. And Wade's going to tell you more about that in a minute.
So, yeah, we're just going to make 5 patties today. My wife, I like to overfill the measuring cups, and my wife likes to underfill them. So we end up with 2 different quantities usually when the 2 of us cook. Especially if it's a sweetener, I definitely overfill that cup until it overflows.
It is funny because last time when he made them we had 7.
Here
Today we have 5.
So there we are, we're all pattied up, and we're going to put these babies in the oven. I'm just going to rinse my hands real quick, just because I got patty all over them.
So we're going to have the oven preheated at 400. And then you're going to put them in. How long for each side, please?
We'll just put them right in. So probably 20 minutes on the first side so that the bottom can actually crispen up a little bit. And then we're going to flip them and do another 15 minutes on the second side. If you're not sure, if you've got a hotter oven or whatever, you might want to check them at about the 15-minute mark and then flip them. So depending on how wet your patty mixture is, when I made the patty mixture last time, I think I maybe put more water in the rice. The rice ended up being kind of wet, so I needed to bake it out. We had to bake the moisture out, so it ended up taking a little bit longer on the cook time.
Okay, great.
And so, in they go, and out they come, already baked up. Actually, these are already pre-cooked, and notice how nicely they browned. That's with no oil. That's just on one of those silicone baking sheets and on a cookie sheet. So they turned out really nice. See, one side's not as brown as the other. This was the first side, so we wanted to get them to brown up a little bit and cook the moisture out of them so that you can enjoy them without them being like mushy in the middle. A little bit of kale on top and a bun, toasted sesame seed, and voila! Looks yummy, right? So enjoy your burger. Pair them with the sweet potato fries like we made last week, or I think, Kathleen, have you already done the recipe for the boiled potatoes?
Yes, we've also done the oil-free, white potato fries, and those are also on my YouTube channel. So pair them up with either set of fries. They're delicious. They do take a little more time, but they're worth it. And we thank you for watching, and as always, we thank you for saving animals with your food choices.
Enjoy your healthy fast food. It isn't really very fast.